Well, I'm not. I don't really know what to say. What a fight that was!
Yeah, yeah.
What is going on, guys? It's me, Mars Voice 6 HD here, and welcome to today's video. Now, today's video is going to obviously be my final thoughts and opinions on KSI Logan Paul 2, which obviously happened early on Sunday morning, UK time, and Saturday night in LA at the Staples Center. And basically, I'm just going to be giving my thoughts on both KSI and Logan and how they did, and also showing a video to do with the supposed illegal punches by both JJ in the third round, and then obviously Logan in the fourth round. And I don't know a lot about boxing, so I'm just going to give my sort of personal opinion instead of like an expert analysis opinion. So yeah, let's get into the video. So first of all, I'm going to give sort of an overall opinion on the fight. Obviously, I think it was honestly one of the best fights I think we're going to see in this whole entire year in boxing, whether they're going to stay pro or not. They both did absolutely amazingly well to become from not even being a boxer a year and a bit ago to now professionally fighting in front of 20,000 fans in the Staples Center, which is the most famous venue in the whole of world boxing, and being promoted by Eddie Hearn and Matchroom Boxing, one of the best organisations for boxing in the world. And yeah, I think as far as it goes, first of all, I'm going to talk about Logan. Logan was very focused, he was very technical, he was measuring shots out, but he threw a lot of less effective punches than I thought he would, because obviously he knew he was not going to be able to do that jab, because JJ had the time to train now, he had the time to figure out, right, this is how I've got to defend the jab, this is how I've got to up my game on blocking shots, this is how I've got to up my game on providing shots to Logan. And he did really well in that, honestly. He did it absolutely incredibly well on stopping Logan from doing those jabs and those power punches, which could have easily ended the fight within the first round, like Logan said he wanted to do. And as far as it went for JJ as well, he worked his heart and soul out for that. You could tell every minute of every round, or every 30 seconds, or every second of every round, that he wanted to win that fight. He knew that if he was to lose, there'd be a lot of backlash against him. And honestly, I wouldn't have gone against JJ if he lost, because Logan was a very big athlete, very muscular. He put so much time and effort into this fight, a bit like Joe Weller against KSI. He put so much time and effort into that, and he's come away with a loss. And even though the loss may not be as hurtful as much, even though it was in his own backyard and it was against one of his biggest rivals in YouTube, he has just pulled his career back to where it should be, and he's done so well to do that. And I'm not gonna lie, he's earned my respect. And I know a lot of KSI fans may still have some kind of hate for him. I personally have gained a bit more liking this. That's not really a word, but gained a bit more liking to Logan, because Logan's not a bad person. Take him off camera, he's a completely fine person, I'm sure, but I think when he's on camera, he wants to sell it to the crowd, like he said with the build up to this fight. He said he didn't want to be talking rubbish about JJ because he was just trying to sell the show, and that does, I'm sure, make a lot of people who are watching this video think, oh, it was just for the money. Yeah, YouTube is a source of entertainment. For these guys to take it off YouTube and go straight into the world of boxing, that is probably one of the pinnacles of YouTube history, and I think it's going to be the #1 event for a long time, unless of course we get some other sport that is incredible, maybe even a mixed martial arts fight. I screwed that up completely. A mixed martial arts fight, which actually Joel or JMX is doing in Newcastle later this year, and I wish the absolute best for him. It's a big step going from 2 boxing fights, one in the Cop Box, one at Manchester, to now going into full mixed martial arts. It's a big step for him, but I know with his ability, he's very capable of doing it. And I think as far as it goes for the fight overall, not a lot of people expected it to go as far. Even Eddie Hearn in the promo said someone is getting knocked out in this fight. Even True Geordie, someone's getting knocked out. Loads of people on Twitter were saying, oh, Logan's going to finish in first round, JJ's going to finish in fifth round. To go the distance in their first pro boxing fight, in which they could have easily punched each other out and one final punch could have ended it all, is very impressive. These guys are not full professionals. I mean, some people would say, oh yeah, they are now, Miles, they've had a pro fight. You need more than one pro fight to not only get into the boxing ladder, but to get to a point where you're being noticed by people, you're getting contracts, you're getting kit deals, you're getting sports brand deals. It's not an easy thing to do at all, and these guys, I have full respect for both of them. It's just incredible to see the two YouTubers who sat in their bedroom, made videos, maybe Logan not so much, or making those videos with his brother, with his crew, with his mum, with his dad, buying these dogs here and there. JJ obviously doing FIFA and doing Cybermen Sunday videos. It's amazing that they've come from that very little point when they were like 16 or so to being a young adult and doing something that not many people get the chance to do, and I fully respect that for both of them. And you know, it was one of those fights that was obviously very decisive, and obviously with the illegal shots, which I found a video on with Logan's supposed illegal shots and also JJ's supposed illegal shot in the third round. And I'm just going to be giving my thoughts on why I think that was the correct decision, and also why that wasn't the correct decision in the terms of JJ's. And I know that may sound very biased against Logan, but I just want to get my opinion out there as to why I didn't think it was as such an illegal punch from JJ, but why I think Logan can see that his appeal is very unlikely to work due to the fact of the clinch issue and the punch whilst he was down. And even though some people must say that had not connected as much, it was still a clear intention, and I'll get into that a bit more later in this video. But Eddie Hearn can also be very proud of himself too, because Eddie Hearn has said this has been an experiment gone very well, and it may be that in the future, like with obviously Anison Give wants to fight Jake Paul, there may become another YouTube event that might turn completely pro, and then we could have another incredible event with world champions on the undercard, the main event being the YouTubers. It's just incredible. And I know some boxing fans may have seen this event as a bit of a joke, and some people would have seen it just for the entertainment. You could say the exact same thing with world boxing, even though, yeah, it's a professional sport, it's an Olympic sport, it's a world championship sport. It could be seen in the exact same way as just a source of entertainment and a chance to get a paycheck in. I mean, these guys have made a hell of a lot of money from this, and when I heard about it potentially being like 900k going on $1 million, that's a lot of money, but I'm sure they did it not only for their fans, but for themselves. I'm definitely sure Logan did it for himself, to earn redemption, to earn respect back from all the fans who were booing him, because there were quite a few fans in that arena that, even though they're American, they still disliked him for what he did 2 years ago, which I'm not going to mention because that's completely irrelevant in this video. And to be honest, Logan has earned my forgiveness. Maybe not completely in the terms of what he did, but he's earned it in forgiveness of how he's managed to claw himself back, get back on the YouTube grind, daily vlogs, daily videos showing this, that, and just earning respect back from everyone. It's absolutely incredible to see that, and they could both easily become pro boxers, and I would love to honestly see a world cruiserweight championship title fight for real between them in the future. And also, JJ's done very well to say he's not going to have a third fight, and even though I'd love to see a third fight, maybe at the O2 Arena, maybe even at Wembley Stadium, that would be incredible to see them sell that out, but I think that would be a big ask considering they are really just a YouTube audience, but hopefully now going into boxing audience as well, which Eddie Hearn was planning to obviously hope to bring in a flush of new audience into boxing, which is definitely achieved with that, because there was more pay-per-views on that fight, even though it being half price to what it normally would be, than Anthony Joshua versus Andy Ruiz. That is a major title fight and a major, I'm not going to say upset, but a major unexpected moment to see them get that many pay-per-views and just that many people watching that may not even have an interest in boxing, but have an interest in them specifically, and it was just incredible to watch. Now, I know I've gone on a bit in this video, and I'm actually going to get into a little bit more depth on in terms of in terms of KSI certainly, and the jab from JJ was incredible, and even his ring walk before the fight. I know I tried to mention the jab, but then went on to the ring walk, but he looked so calm. He looked in full belief. He knew he could win this fight, and with the basic jabs, because even if the jabs, as Bazinga said in the commentary, was just flicking to the chest, those are doing some form of damage to Logan. And the fact Logan was running away from some of these punches, which I'm sure people have different opinions, that he was just trying to dodge out the way of JJ's aggressive nature, but it was working for him. And he had a very, like, I suppose you could say Deontay Wilder style to his boxing. He was always looking for that haymaker. He was always looking to go on the attack. He was not scared of Logan like he suspectedly was in Manchester. He was not afraid to try. He's not afraid to blow himself out. And I know he didn't want to lose this fight, but he was not afraid to blow himself out, potentially lose the fight. He did it for the crowd, and he got so much respect off that. And then Logan had the boxing mindset of a world champion, and even though some UK fans would say, oh, Logan was really boring, he didn't throw a punch, he was like Joe Weller. But he wasn't. He was throwing punches, he was going for it. Even the uppercuts that, if he just thought about, instead of them being illegal, that could have been the end of the fight. That could have been it. The referee could have waved it off. JJ could have been the one who loses that fight. Logan could have been up on the ropes. He could have been saying all the stuff he wanted to say. He could have completely got back the American crowd. And I think the fact that Logan came away with an L is very heartbreaking for obviously his brother, who broke down backstage thinking, I feel like I've let my brother down. It's not Jake's fault, and I know obviously he was with him and encouraging him in training. He just let the emotions just release from his system, which is probably the best thing he could have done. And you know, that's just how it goes, unfortunately, and that's just how it ended up for Logan. And he was very impressive, as I said, with just every technical aspect of his boxing, which obviously Shannon Briggs was known for in his time, and obviously he is still irrelevant. And I'm sure JJ was happy to shut him up, but it was lovely to see the respect between Vidal and JJ, even on the replays when they were showing those shots, which I'm going to show in a moment, as always. And yeah, it was just brilliant to watch, and I do hope that something in the future can definitely happen with something to do with YouTubers boxing. Right, so I'm actually going to get this video up and show you what I think on the illegal shots of KSI in the 3rd round and Logan in the 4th round. So yeah, let's get into it. Right, so here we go with the video. Right, so I probably paused it a bit of a bad time there, but Logan has just delivered a pretty heavy uppercut to the chin of JJ, just around in the corner of this ring. And then immediately he has gone into a clinch, and it's a bit of an odd clinch in my opinion. He's gone into a form of a Muay Thai clinch, which is a clinch from UFC and a clinch can use in boxing, but I think this has made him very vulnerable to making an illegal shot and not knowing. So as you can see, just around this area, which is pretty obvious obviously, he has got JJ's head effectively pulled towards him. And this is where I think actually does make the uppercut actually illegal, the second one. So he has still got his left hand or left glove on JJ's neck, so he's pulled JJ in towards him. And obviously I don't know the full rules on this, but I think the referee had made the right call, because JJ's in a position where he can't move and could be potentially very dangerous with Logan pulling on his neck and him actually trying to deliver punches, which in the clinch you're not allowed to deliver punches if you can't get out of the situation. So that could be a point where it's not an illegal shot. But then here in the next bit, Logan has thrown a punch to the back of JJ's head as he was going down to the canvas. Now obviously with the first uppercut, which I suppose was an illegal shot, and I'm sure the ref did as well, because obviously that was the first point that got deducted from Logan. But this is also the worst bit from Logan. As you can see, I'm kind of in the middle of it here. He has gone for a second swipe at JJ. as he was on the ground, or going towards the ground, certainly. And even though Logan would said it was a bit soft and he didn't actually connect, there was a clear throwing intention of the punch towards JJ when he clearly knew he was on the ground. He was knocked down, and that could have been the fight for Logan if he'd considered the potential consequences of what he'd done. And even Jake ringside, you could see, was saying, Logan, you shouldn't have done that. And I could totally agree with him, because, yeah, I've even paused here, a bit of a bad point there. I think I've actually gone back here. But, yeah, that's kind of a slow motion replay. You can see Logan actually going down, and even though it was probably just to tap JJ, even a tap can be seen by the referee as an intention to punch, even if he doesn't connect it with enough force that it's actually hurt JJ. Because if he connected it with a bit more force, that could have potentially put JJ out the fight and got Logan disqualified, which, although obviously no one wanted to see in this fight, but it's what happens. So yeah, if you could see, Logan had thrown just a straight right down towards JJ, and even though it may not have been going totally towards the back of his head, because there was a direction and what appeared to be a very overly emotional intention to connect with a punch, that's what I would say got him the second point deducted. So I'm actually just going to reverse the video again. So that was after it, and look, you can see Logan's arm coming up here and throwing down again. So that is where the ref, I would say, has called the deduction and the point. I think he was right to score Logan the knockdown, and then to take away 2 points seemed kind of fair. I know some neutrals would say, oh, they should have just not counted the knockdown and not done anything. But I think the fact that it was effectively the second time Logan had complained about it, because obviously there was another slight intention from JJ with a swing to the back of the head in the clinch. Logan was clearly getting a bit frustrated of not how JJ was defending so well, which JJ obviously was defending very well, but how none of his punches seemed to be doing very bad damage. And the fact that JJ was throwing a jab of his own kind of put Logan off, and he realised in this round, right, I'm got to be behind the scorecards, because even though JJ's knockdown didn't count, JJ had, I would have said, landed the more effective punches. So yeah, that's kind of where it went wrong for Logan. And I think JJ was quite lucky that there wasn't actually as much force into the punch as there was, because as I said, if there had been any more force, that could have really harmed JJ. Not only mentally, but physically, that would have harmed JJ quite a bit, because a punch to the back of the head, that can just completely cancel out any kind of signals to the brain or anything like that. And I know I'm going into a bit of science here with the brain in that, but that's what it could have done to JJ. And to be honest, considering this is his first professional fight, he was very, very lucky that Logan didn't go full force with that punch before he hit the canvas. Otherwise, that literally could have been it. And even though he would have won through disqualification, he would have been very badly affected and probably wouldn't have even got up for the announcement, which I'm sure all the side men who are watching ringside were really glad to see that JJ was wobbled, but he wasn't actually hurt as badly, because if he was any more badly, I know that's probably not English, but if he was hurt really badly, that could have had a really bad effect on not only his YouTube career, but potentially his life in general. But yeah, so as you can see there, uppercut, perfectly clean. But then that was completely illegal, and the throw to the back of the head didn't catch it on there, the cameras, but that's honestly my opinion on that. And I know I probably went through that video a bit quickly and there wasn't enough sort of description, but I'm not a professional at the sport. I'm not someone who knows everything about the rules, but I think from what I've heard from other people's opinions and people who actually follow the sport properly, the first shot, obviously with the hanging on the neck and staying in the clinch and then delivering a shot, that was the first illegal one. And then I think the more illegal one that probably only deserved maybe -1 point, but I can see why it was -2, was the punch to the back of the head before he hit the canvas, and then, as I said again, the intention to throw another punch that may not have connected as much, but could have been obviously very bad for the sake of the event, because they did not want any trouble in this event. They don't want someone rushing into the ring, saying to Logan what you're doing, disqualifying Logan, because that's not the way you wanted to end it. And even, as I said, post-fight press conference, Logan let the emotions get the better of him, and I know it was his first fight, but that was just completely unacceptable by Logan's manner. But yeah, guys, that's basically what I think on that one, and I'm actually going to get into KSI's knockdown that didn't actually count in the fight, and just give my opinions on why I actually think that should have counted. And I'm sure a lot of the commentators who were there, which I know most of them were JJ's friends, but I believe his name's Alan Smith or something, who was talking to a Hall of Fame referee who appeared to think that was a knockdown. I'm just going to show people what I think, which I think a lot of you guys out there who are watching this video do think as well. So yeah, I'll be back in a moment, and I'll get this video up. Right guys, so here's the video I found. It's a very short video. I think it's only about 6 seconds, and it is a slow motion replay, so I may go through this a couple of times, and obviously I'm sure a lot of people agree with me with this being a knockdown, but some people may beg to differ if they know the sport of boxing a bit better than I do. But yeah, let's just get into it. So yeah, there we go. JJ's hitting first with what appears to be a bit of a straight left hand sort of jab to the chin of Logan. I don't know what to call that. It was a bit wild affair from JJ, but he wasn't a very aggressive nature. But that was good to see. He was not scared to go at Logan. And then this is the shot that was supposedly round the back of the head. Boom. You can see the connection has actually gone. It's gone just to the back of the temple, which is the side of Logan's head, just behind the ear, which is a very good spot for JJ to hit, because when you're hit on the ear, you lose your sense of balance, and I think that's what made Logan go down, because if Logan was hit on the back of the head, he may have still gone down, but I think he would have more stumbled to the side, and that would have allowed the fight to go on. So I think if it had been scored a knockdown, which I wouldn't have been surprised if some judges had still scored it a knockdown, because even though the ref didn't call it as a knockdown, some judges on the scorecards I would have had seen that as a very significant punch, because even if Logan hadn't gone down, that was one of the best combinations that JJ made in that whole fight, which, not being negative towards JJ at all, but there were a few well-connected shots, but Logan had the better jabs, I would say, but not in terms of general power shots, which he never really even got a chance to actually land, despite landing that first uppercut and the second one and the third punch, which obviously were illegal. And yeah, so I'm just going to go back one more time in case you guys didn't catch that, because I know the quality's pretty bad. But here we go. Yep. Left hand, right hand to the temple. So it's come across Logan as his head's dipping down, and he's caught him in a perfect position, and I can see why the ref potentially didn't give it as a knockdown, because it was so close to the back of Logan's head that it was that bridge point of like, oh, did that hit the back of his head? And I think he did the right. He had a very 50-50 choice to call, and I think to call it as an illegal knockdown is not unfair, because I'm sure people who have not been in refereeing a long time would say that's a very tight call. I either call it as a knockdown or not. And I do think the fact that Logan was then holding on to JJ and JJ was trying to move away to get him off kind of signalled that it was a fair knockdown. And even Logan, I would say, he stayed on the ground a bit. It's as if he was saying, look, I've got caught, that is a knockdown. But the way the ref was encouraging him to get up, he seemed a bit clueless, which kind of indicates that he was trying to regain his balance. And obviously, in that situation, that normally means knockdown. They've been knocked off balance, they've fallen over. And even after that, when Logan did actually slip, because he was saying he slipped on this one, he didn't slip. He got hit by a left hand, he then got curved round with a right that may have, as I said, been to the back of the head, but it was a bit of a 50-50 decision. And yeah, that's just how it goes, unfortunately. And for there to be no real major knockdowns, but two punches that had very big significance in the fight, I would say that combination there definitely won it for JJ. And I know a lot of Logan fans are going to say, oh, you're just being biased against him. It's a 50-50, and I hope you're happy, Logan fans, that wasn't more square on the side of the head. Because that was square on the side of the head, Logan could have completely flopped and just hit the deck, and then that would have been a knockdown, and he would have lost the fight 100%. But I think the fact that those two controversial supposed knockdowns didn't count, and even though Logan said it wasn't even my first warning, they just deducted 2 points, is a bit unfair. I can see why he thought that, but he knows he should not have gone with the intention of hitting him as he was going down and hitting him whilst he was on the floor, as I said, even if he didn't connect with that much force. Well, guys, that's actually going to be the end of this video. I know it's been a bit of a rant, but I just wanted to get my opinion out there, and I know this video is probably going to be coming up a bit late, and I do apologise for that. I've been at work, and I still couldn't get over the emotions on Sunday morning with knowing that JJ won. He's ended the beef, and even though some people, and Logan obviously said he didn't like chatting rubbish about JJ, he was just trying to sell it, and I know some people would see that as this rivalry being fake, but in a sense, that's kind of the idea. They wanted to create something that would get fans hyped, that would get fans rivalry boosted, that would get both these guys, well, a massive paycheck, and also fame for a very different reason, because no YouTuber has ever gone from not being a boxer a year and a half ago to being a professional boxer with proper judges, proper refs, a full sold-out Staples Center, which is one of the most iconic places in world boxing, Eddie Hearn promoting it, live TV, Sky Sports box office, more pay-per-views currently than Anthony Joshua versus Andy Ruiz, which is a very big deal, and I was really impressed by both of them, and yeah. So I do hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Please leave a like, comment, and do not forget to subscribe, and I'll see you all later. Peace!